Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And as a little bit of a disclaimer, today we're going to be talking about cosplay through COVID. And I just want to make sure everyone understands that we're not giving any medical advice. We're just giving recommendations and chatting about what we can do to be safe and reduce risk as we enjoy cosplay.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a Halloween special of cosplaying and costuming during COVID. We've got some special guests today who are going to help us answer that question, provide some tips, and hopefully give you a happy and warm and safe Halloween this year. And you know what? Let's go ahead and start the show. My name is Christian Basil. Years ago, I had an idea. I got myself a TARDIS. Took it to new places, met a lot of new people, took some great pictures, and talked Doctor Who. From Krypton Radio and the creators of the Hanging With web show, this is the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Join me on my latest adventures and become part of the legend. Happy Halloween, or we're getting very close to Halloween. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Whovians. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil, and we have a lovely select guests here that are going to be helping us answer the question. The question for this episode today is, how are you going to be handling cosplaying and COVID during Halloween? And as the conventions are beginning to open up, how are we going to move forward with that? And I have some lovely people who are going to help me do that. But first of all, let me introduce them. To my left, there we go. To my left is the lovely and talented Melanie Dean. How are you doing there, Melanie?
Doing quite well. Very excited for today's show.
I am too. All the way to her left is the lovely and talented Neisha Mulchan. How are you doing there, Neisha?
I'm doing wonderful and so happy to be part of today's show.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much, everybody. We're going home, right? That's the end of the episode there.
Please take over.
That's right. And okay, I was for a takeover there. And I want to introduce the lovely and talented ladies that have joined us today who are going to be helping us answer that question. We're going to start off from left to right. We're going to start with Kyla. Kyla, tell us a little bit about yourself and where people can find you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me, by the way. I'm Kyla Swanberg, a.k.a. Miss Stitched, and I'm with Cosfx Studios. My boyfriend Rob and I run interactive photo ops where you can meet characters from your favorite films at Comic-Cons, mostly MegaCon, and we have a lot of fun. But, of course, during COVID times, we're getting extra creative, which we'll talk about that in a bit. And basically my specialty is I'm a costume designer and a makeup artist. So
yeah, I'm in specialties. And one of my favorite pictures of all time that I've taken during the Halloween festival, there you go. You saw that in the thumbnail. Tell us a little bit about that, because your boyfriend is actually above you with the light on. I love that.
He's Fester and I'm the Wednesday at the bottom. And we got to meet the TARDIS on our many adventures. And that's the rest of our Addams family, all fellow actors that we like to work with. And that was a special day because we had a lot more characters in the booth. So we even had Grandmama, and it was her birthday that day. So we made an extra special family cake, all Addams family themed. And it's just been a lot of fun having the booths and having people come in and meet the characters. We make custom props that are themed to that film. So when you stepped in, we had the bomb, the different props, and the axe and things like that.
Was that Spooky Empire? I forgot. Or was that another convention there?
I believe that was MegaCon.
That was
Orlando.
MegaCon.
Yeah. And we had
okay.
the giant shovels to go wake the dead, and we would have people come in and play Wake the Dead.
Now, I'm going to go into a little bit of a topic, because a little bit of a discussion, because there is we got a surprise message from Spooky Empire. They're doing a special pop-up convention. They just, out of the whim, I think it's middle of December, and you can go to their website, spookyempire.com. But they just all of a sudden said, yeah, we're going to have a convention. We're going to have it in Orlando. And I'm just like, okay. After 2 of their cancellations, and felt really bad. But I think it's nice to that. We'll get into the discussion that we're getting to some kind of normal. Speaking of normal, I'm going to tell people I'm the lousiest segue in the world there. For those of you who do cosplay and do not know this lovely lady, she is probably the most known and how do I even say it? Yaya Han.
If you've never stepped inside of a Joann's Fabrics
Venerated.
now, my brand goddess right
The
here.
word is venerated.
Gotcha. Yeah. Say hello to the folks and tell them a little bit about yourself. And I'm just curious, how did you get started in cosplay from the very beginning?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Yaya, and I started in cosplay a very long time ago. I find myself very lucky that I discovered it so long ago and when I was so young. 1999 was the first time I cosplayed, and I've been active ever since. So over 20 some years. And really just went from just being a fan who didn't know how to sew to now I used to travel to many conventions doing panels, judging, and other programming. And I design fabrics and patterns and other cosplay materials that are available mainly through Joann fabric and craft stores. I wrote a book recently about cosplay. I just live and breathe cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a part of my life. Yeah,
it's in the blood.
Yeah.
Now, out of curiosity, what was your very, very first cosplay? What was that?
It was from an anime called Yu Yu Hakusho, which is one of the best anime to date. But I dressed up as Kurama, and it's actually a male character, but it's like a really pretty Bishonen male character. So I thought I could do it, but I didn't try to, make myself look like a guy at all. I was just made the outfit. But I think it was the experience of making something out of fabric that I could wear. I was just like, whoa, my mind is blown. And yeah, actually I talk about it extensively in my book. So it's I talk about the first time I cosplayed, going to the first convention. I have a picture of the costume in there and stuff. So
awesome. Now, people were trying to tell me, because this is my first time seeing you, and I actually thought she's gonna think, oh God, he's weird. He's gonna be weird. But I think this is the first. No. Wait. You were so sweet. No, I didn't say you were mean at all. I was just I think she's gonna think I'm weird. But I wanted to show everybody the very first Traveling TARDIS picture with you.
Oh, that's
and I think that is at MegaCon.
Yeah, I think that is a MegaCon too. Yeah.
Now, maybe for those people, who is this you're cosplaying here?
Mulan from Disney's Mulan, but a redesign by the artist Hannah Alexander. She's an artist from the UK, and she does beautiful illustrations. So she designed an Art Nouveau version of Mulan, and then I made the costume.
It looks gorgeous. So, but every time I've seen you at a convention, I always say hi to you. You always say hi back, and you know exactly who I am with the TARDIS and all that. And you're like, bring the TARDIS. I'm like, okay. So there's actually quite a few pictures in the Traveling TARDIS. If you go through all the conventions, you'll find Yaya in there.
Yeah. Speaking
of which, Miss Kat Smith, I want to introduce. This is her first time on the Traveling TARDIS there. How are you doing, Kat? Tell us a little bit about yourself. And I got a picture to embarrass you with, because I love this picture. It's one of my favorite pictures that I took a long time ago. But tell us a little bit about yourself there, Kat.
Oh my gosh. Hi. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me, Christian. I'm Kat. I'm an actor and a musician, and that was sort of my route into cosplay. As you see in the corner of the screen, I'm Miss Nerdstiles, which is a very, very important title that I inherited from absolutely no one, because I made it up.
Okay.
No, I got into cosplay as a performer because cosplay is it's sartorial fandom, and you stare at something long enough and you go, oh my god, I love this so much, I have to wear it on my body and become it somehow, and then you learn how to make it, sort of.
No, that's right. So you got to start from somewhere there. Kat, can you get your microphone a little bit closer so we can hear you better there? Just a wee bit closer on the microphone.
Okay, full disclosure, this fancy microphone is solely for the look of the thing. It's not
okay.
No, it's not.
So is the shower curtain, okay? So we're okay. We're even there.
Cool looking though. I spent $1 zillion on this microphone, and it's not plugged into anything because I can't get it to be compatible because she's a snob, and I can't get her to yet, but I'm going to. But I spent $1 zillion on her, so goddamn it, I want her in the shop. But now that you all
this will work.
Go away. This is my diva microphone, and now she can go away.
Well, the diva has to have a microphone, so yeah, I mean, you keep it there, but we just want to be able to hear you out okay. That's all.
Okay, but now I'm going to lean forward so you can actually.
Okay. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm going to open up the discussion with a question for all of you. Well, actually, you know what? I'll start with Kyla. I'll start with you. When the conventions came to a close, when COVID hit, what was your first impression, especially for your craft, and what did you do thereafter? How did you get through it?
My first thought was, oh no, all the shows. Because we had Cosfx Studios, we had a year booked of all these shows. We would have gone to Boston, Dallas, and so we're like, okay, what now? Mm-hmm. So I think mostly we played the waiting game of, okay, it's been postponed, so we've got another month. And so I hate to say it, but it also gave me time to work on costumes I didn't have ready. But then I wound up having a lot more time than I realized, because at the moment I'm working on Gozer from Ghostbusters, and that's very time consuming. All those bubbles. She's on a mannequin behind me somewhere. So it was just all this hand stitching, and we put lights inside to do the lightning bolt effect and the microphone and stuff. So that's been the slow work in progress. And we actually didn't get an event until just recently. We started working in the month of October at the Silver Moon Drive-In. So now we're doing social distant photo ops with masks, and it's during the drive-in, guests can come get a photo with the character that's from the film that they're about to watch. So it's kind of fun. So we can theme it out. And like this weekend coming up, you can come see Friday the 13th and also meet Jason Voorhees. But we've got his arch nemesis, Freddy Krueger. So it's a Freddy versus Jason photo op. So you can get both. Sweet. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So we've just been working on our craft at home, staying busy on projects, taking care of organizing my studio and the madness that it is, and hoping for the next event, sometime around the corner. But at that time when COVID hit, we also work as performers, actors at Universal Studios. So we dropped our contract at the same time that COVID hit. So we thought, we're going to have all these shows, so this is why we're dropping our contracts. So then that kicked on. We're like, so I'm currently a furloughed actor at Universal. So, but I'm grateful that it's only furloughed. It could be worse. So I'm grateful to have what we have and our space to create. And it's just been awesome to kind of get creative, but find safe entertainment to do during this year. And it's going to evolve into some stuff with the drive-in for December time too, because it's just been going so well. So I'm excited to see what it's going to turn into.
And it's a scary number to hear, because I remember when Disney, if you really think about how much the theme parks really mean to Central Florida and the state as a whole and the economy, the day that they furloughed Walt Disney World, 77,000. I couldn't even picture that number in my head.
It's
77,000. And not only that, but if you really think about it, that's not the only effect. People at the airport, Uber drivers,
Oh,
taxi
man.
drivers, restaurants,
Yeah.
hotels surrounding the area, that easily goes up almost triple. And it was just, it's really
Yeah.
it's really devastating to hear that. For those of you just joining us, don't forget we're doing a live chat. If you have any questions for Kyla, Yaya, or Kat, Kyla, Yaya, or Kat, or Kata, we'll put a Kata. We'll just run it down over there. Please do, and we'll put up your chats. If we have any questions, please do about the topic of COVID during cosplay and costuming during COVID. There now, I just when things started going down, how did that change for you and your work and your craft? And because you have a big business, you said you live and bleed cosplay, but how did this affect you?
It changed everything. It really did. I had a whole year planned out and all these conventions, already contracts signed and travel booked, and I was my book was supposed to come out in May, and I had a whole book tour planned and was gonna do all kinds of events. And so, but of course, like, I took COVID very serious. I still take it incredibly serious. And I started quarantining mid-March. We canceled all the conventions, and I pretty much for April, I was doing a bit of soul searching and playing a lot of Animal Crossing and just trying to figure out, like, what do we want to do? Like, of course, the first thing that I wanted to do was make face masks, because my neighbors and other people in the community asked if I could make masks for them. And I very quickly gravitated towards masks. I thought it was really, good that I had sewing skills, and sewing was becoming something that could actually, make a difference. And so I made a lot of face masks to donate, and then I asked my employees if they would feel comfortable making face masks as well. I employ cosplayers in the Atlanta area, and they sew, and I gave them like my extra sewing machines, and so we kind of all made the decision together. Yes, we want to try this. So I kind of developed a pattern. I taught them remotely. We had to like do Zoom calls to like teach them how to make masks. And so it's like and then trying to buy materials. Like it was very interesting to enter a whole new market with a new product that required so much research and so much running around, because like all of our, cosplay accessory products that we usually sell at conventions, we've had that figured out for years. But then with masks, it was like, all right, not only is this a new item, but it also has to be sterile. Everything has to, the fabric has to be washed. We have to wear masks when we're sewing masks, and, the workspace has to be kept clean. So it's very, very stressful to sort of even coordinate and organize with 4 people sewing and working from home. And then only using our warehouse to do shipping and, to fill the occasional orders for other products. So from that standpoint, like that basically consumed me for a few months. I think from end of April to mid-June or July, the only thing I did was make masks, because like that's just every day for like 10 hours, make face masks. And I feel like now, of course, everybody is making masks, and like the demand is finally being satisfied, and that's a good thing. I'm like, yes, everybody get your collection of masks. But I only very recently started getting back into crafting. I think I just had to get out of like the mask making mode, and so I recently made a costume, and I have plans to make more costumes again. And so that was, really like, I definitely had like pandemic fatigue as well. But probably the worst thing about all of this whole year for me has been releasing a book during a pandemic. Like releasing a published book, trying to coordinate with a publisher in New York, which COVID has really affected them as well.
Right.
And trying to, promote a book online, doing this all day long versus like going to an event and talking to people and actually hearing from people what they thought of it. It's been very demoralizing. So,
well, especially since you didn't write the book overnight. You've had editors and you've planned, and I'm sure that you've had many iterations. So you knew, okay, we're going to release on 2020. Okay,
it was a huge part of my life, and I spent 6 months writing it and many more months planning it and doing the layouts and such and collecting all the photos. So it was something I was incredibly looking forward to, and now it feels almost like a fever dream. Like, did this actually happen? Did I actually write my life story in a book, or did I just dream it? So, but I will say that my business and myself, we're incredibly lucky. There's so many people that are suffering worse. Like, I have the ability to make a product that has been in demand in this new normal, and we're still able to just continue keeping the company running. Everybody is still on payroll, and so it's like I'm very, very grateful for what we've been able to do. But of course, I missed traveling, missed conventions, missed my family. My family lives
and your business became the frontline assembly line, which I referred to this as meaning that GMs, there were like car manufacturers are making ventilators. The distilleries down here in St. Augustine started making hand sanitizers. So it was just like they had to adapt and become something else. But speaking of adapt, because Melanie knows I'm the worst segment, we got to get a commercial break in. When we return, we're going to continue our conversation. Kat, you're going to have that question is going to be posted to you when we return. Please continue to stay logged on, tuned in, and continue to become part of the legend. And wash your damn hands.
Bateman.
What's the Bateman?
A novel set in Florida, written by Florida author D.L. Havlin. Suspense, mystery, and murder.
Evidence is in the bait.
The Bateman is available at local bookstores and online.
Hi, I'm Claudia Christian with some exciting updates in the Sinclair Method world. First of all, we launched our new coaching page. It's yoursinclairmethod.com, so you can go there and book a session with one of our fabulous coaches. You can also reach that page by visiting c3foundation.org. It's at the top of the landing page of the website. The second piece of news is Journeys is out. Woohoo! This book has been a long time in the making, and it is available in Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your local bookstore, and there's a limited amount of signed copies at c3foundation.org. So get your copy of Journeys now and visit the coaching page for some wonderful support. If you're on the Sinclair Method, you can book a session with a variety of different coaches. Take care and be well.
Jackie Sonnenberg's My Soul to Keep is a ghost story rooted in the realities of actual cults. When 13-year-old Sky Monroe arrives at her new boarding school, all she can think about is death and connecting with the afterlife. Soon she discovers her school's spirituality group, the Guardians of Light, and they have a secret. They can speak with the dead, and the organization is a cult. But this isn't Sky's only problem. The campus house where Sky resides is haunted, and even the ghosts have an agenda. They intend on getting the souls they want. Filled with mystery and intrigue plucked straight from the headlines, author Jackie Sonnenberg's research and attention to detail give this ghost story an even more eerie atmosphere. Find My Soul to Keep on Amazon.com today.
Hey folks, if you're watching us on the YouTube channel or the Facebook page, don't thank us, thank our friends at Geek Insider. Please check out our friends at geekinsider.com. Subscribe today.
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legend of Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil, and I'm here with the lovely ladies Kyla
Hello.
From Cosfx Studios, the lovely Yaya, and you don't need much of an explanation there. She is cosplay embodiment, and the lovely Kat Smith. And I forgot to put this up, Kat. I am so sorry. I forgot to put this up earlier, and I think I added the meme. I really think I added the meme to this one, but there you go.
See, I told you I remember the 2 tight sleeves. I replaced the sleeves.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that picture. I love that picture.
That was one of my very first Doctor Who cons, as I recall, back in like 2012, somewhere in Florida, I think.
Yeah, it was in Florida, and I remember, if I'm not mistaken, I think you told me to bring the TARDIS to you, and just said take a picture, and then that's what you came up with. And then I just later on edited the meme and said, "Here you go." That I said, "That's what we got." Wow. So it's so nice that cosplay can come together like that. So, Kat, the question is coming to you. What did you do when everything? How did you take things when? We can't say the term, can we? So the coof hit. When the coof hit, how did you take things there?
It's weird, you'd never think that "how are you doing" or "how are you holding up" would become such a loaded question.
I know.
But it really has. And I wrote my answer down, honestly, because it took a while. And what I tell people now is, depends on the day. I've got, I'm pretty good at coasting, and I'm existentially, soul-crushingly depressed, constantly vying for dominance. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. I think that, most of the people in here can relate, especially Kyla, also, who's a performer. I've got it's a double whammy. COVID hit me as a double whammy, because not only a cosplayer, I'm an actor. So, as a performer, both of my things were cut short. I can't go out and do anything. And not only does that threaten your livelihood, but it kind of threatens, it's really kind of this whole existential thing, like, why do I exist even? So on good days, you kind of coast and you go, all right, well, I'm going to use this time to do things that in my house, because I'm high risk, so I can't, I'm compromised, so I can't go around. And I have a kid, and so I have hardly left my house in, 8 months or whatever it is. Thankfully, I have an able-bodied roommate who can go to the store for me and stuff. So, I can't even, the thought of going to buy my own groceries is really exciting now. I've been able to put together a couple of niche cosplays that I don't know that I would wear to a con together out of my closet. I never thought I would bother building Delirium of the Endless from the Sandman comic books, but so I did from my closet, and it was fun, and so I did that. The creative Jones and the cosplay Jones has been being taken care of by a dear friend of mine. You can find his stuff on YouTube at Geek Like Rules. Plug. He does cosplay cabaret, and the world of performing and nerdery kind of intersect. He is also a performer and a nerd, and decided to put these together. And before COVID, he would do 4 shows a year, and now it's been every month, because he's going just as stir crazy as the rest of us. So
right.
He's just been doing these online cabaret shows. So I did a Harry Potter one, and I did a Doctor Who one, and what was the last one? I did a psychological profile in song as Hannibal Lecter, and I write song parodies and sing them, and so it gets out the Jones, the creative Jones, and the cosplay Jones at the same time, and it's fun and all of the rest. So you do what you can.
Yeah, and here's the thing about the current coof world is that you didn't know how important conventions were to people. Because we hear a lot, and I'm not downing or making less of anything for people who have suffered or passed with COVID. But a lot of the reports that we don't get are people with people's anxieties went up, domestic abuse went up, drug taking went up. A lot of the things that COVID doesn't do to us on the outside, but what it does to us on the inside when we're stuck in our homes, those things went up, and those things don't necessarily get reported. And I've seen a lot of my friends just go into a great depression because the convention was their way out. They were affectionate. They were talking to people. It was their way to Neisha, you tell me a little bit more on this. It was a way for people to get together and geek out. But the moment that we had to go into our little hovels and hunker down for a while, that it really changed the dynamic and how people reacted. So what have you heard, Neisha, on that line there?
Hold on. I was just taking care of that little other thing that you just messaged me on. So
okay.
I found what it is. So I'll fix it in a minute. I'm sorry, guys. Live show. Okay. So you're asking me basically, I mean, because it was a bit bigger question.
Yeah, you can break it down or pick at it, but it took a lot. A lot of us, we all suffered in some kind of way. Yeah. And they never talk about the COVID that does damage to us inside our homes. It's always the COVID, which, when we get it, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not downplaying that at all, but we don't get as many stories about the COVID that does damage to us when we're stuck in our homes.
Well, and Kat was being really extremely very open and very honest with us about the experience that she's having. Kyla and Yaya, everyone kind of gave us a good understanding from I was just thinking, I was listening and going 3 completely different perspectives on how all of our lives are affected and upturned. So I have found that from when we first started to now, which is like the 5-month journey, that while we are really saturating the web and the internet with availability and opportunities for people to be able to connect and communicate through the cons that we're doing virtually. And the amount of virtual offerings that we ourselves are offering. I mean, podcasts have gone through the roof. The number of people who started podcasts and small chat groups and what you're seeing going live on Instagram and on, all of the social media sites, but yet somehow we're still having some issues with having availability for more ready access to mental health, to having support groups available. I actually did a search yesterday because one of the things we do with Diversely Geek is we do get requests from people asking us for help to be able to figure out where to find support for mental health. Where to find support for depression and for anxiety and maybe even panic. And I had to do a search for a fan in Pennsylvania yesterday. And there's a lot of availability, but it was so hard to find exactly the niche that this person needed. I thought about the amount of time it took me. I'm a professional. I'm a healthcare provider and a mental health provider, and it was difficult for me to trickle down and find what this person needed. So in the bigger scale of things, Christian, there's help out there. There's support out there. We just need to encourage everyone to know that the 4 walls around you aren't your prison, right? It's an opportunity for you to be able to see your life in a completely different way, but also to feel encouraged to reach out to support groups. And you can always reach out to me, right? You can always reach out to our organization and we'll help you do that. But don't let the loneliness envelop you and imprison you, right? Reach out to people who can help to support you and grow you and, give you light in your world. And there is a lot out there. Sometimes people just need to know who they can go to. And that's what I've been seeing with the I really couldn't, it would be a whole nother show for me to do that with you guys, but to explain what I've been experiencing with fans across the globe. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
It's been hard to deal with, but it's been amazing. And I myself as a mental health provider, I'm struggling with things as well. Guys, my entire world has been turned upside down. as a healthcare provider as well. But I miss the cons. They were everything in terms of our research and our connectivity. And we don't have that connectivity at this moment. So we have to remember that connectivity comes through all of the five senses. It's not just in physical touch, right? There's all the other senses, and we need to know how to work to inculcate that. So sorry
now,
for
that's fine. The next question I'm going to bring to Yaya, because there seems to be a friend of ours named Jessica came up with an idea for conventions. But speaking of our everything, we have a commercial break. When we return to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, we'll continue our discussions about cosplay and costuming during COVID. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tuned in, and become part of the legend.
Deborah Parmley's Jenna's Christmas Wish.
Santa, if there's one thing I want for Christmas more than anything, it's someone to spend Christmas with. Someone who really wants me to be there.
Head to the mountains of East Tennessee with romance author Jenna Hart for a Christmas writer's workshop. Since her mother passed after a long illness, Jenna has had one wish. She doesn't want to spend Christmas alone. Meeting Niccolo Maldini, cover model and actor, could make more than Jenna's Christmas wish come true. Unless Ember, Niccolo's ex-girlfriend, does something crazy to stop them from being together. It's a mountain Christmas romance you won't want to miss in Deborah Parmley's Jenna's Christmas Wish. Now on Amazon.com.
Experience Samara's adventure as she imagines the people around her change into friendly cartoon animals right before her eyes. Journey with her in this poetic tale, My Cartoon Imagination at School.
Alien invaders enslave Earth,
unleashing hunters into the ruined wastes.
One young survivor struggles to elude their monsters, clinging to hope.
When he's stolen off the planet by a sarcastic starship AI, they pit their uneasy alliance against a treacherous galaxy.
Explore a whole new verse of barbarism and betrayal.
Wonder and adventure.
In the Scion series
by Michael J. Allen.
Beginning with Book 1, Scion Conquered Earth.
Available in print, ebook, and audio on Amazon.com.
And next Tuesday live at 6 p.m. on the 27th, I believe, of October, we're going to have a special, wonderful guest, the Phantasmagoria troupe. They're going to be performing live for a special show just for the Whovians out here for the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And right after that, I'm going to be actually going back to Fan Expo to help them celebrate the second part 2 of the Halloween Horror Nights virtual.
It's a weapon.
This Halloween will be your last.
I'll be joining a team of people who've either worked at Halloween Horror Nights, have been designers or producers. And Kyla, you're going to be there, right? Or is Rob going to be there?
I will. Both
you
of
will
us
be
will
this
be there.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome there.
Excited to join in.
Gotcha. Now, Yaya, are you going to be? Here's the thing. When I was it just recently? What was it? Tampa Bay Comic-Con. We were all hoping that was the last resort. Because they hadn't canceled their convention as of yet. So we were all hoping that maybe Tampa Bay Comic-Con had continued this past year, and it didn't. It finally, at the last minute, decided to close up. Now, however, thinking about this, I had to think about how I was going to protect people from Little Boy Blue here, because I didn't realize how much of a germ thingy. Not only that, but I had to get this. I mean, that big sanitizer just for the Traveling TARDIS. And there was a sign. There was actually a warning sign that had made that basically said you actually had to sanitize your hands, touch the TARDIS, couldn't put it up to your face, make sure you're wearing a mask, and then put it down, then sanitize your hands afterwards. That's how intricate we had to be just for a piece of a metal box. that cosplayers love to take pictures with. Yaya, heading that question, what changes are you going to be doing when the doors open back to the convention? When you're going to your first convention, you're going to be just, okay, this is okay, or are you going to be doing things a little bit differently?
I will forever be doing things differently. And I will not go back to a convention until I'm vaccinated and vaccines are widely available and it is safe to do so. Listen to the scientists. Like, I literally think it's very important that we don't open too quickly. I hate that conventions are gone, but they are so, it's going to be impossible to keep people safe. And so I don't plan on going to a convention until it is safe. And I implore everyone to really consider, 3 times before you do that. I like, honestly, I don't have fun going out and being amongst people and having to worry about what I need to sanitize, because it's like it's not about me. It's about who I can potentially infect, or, it's about the people that are more vulnerable than me. So as much as I love conventions, no, I will not be going back until it is safe to do so, until it is widely accepted that it's safe and not this fake sense kind of safe. So, and I think from here on, I will definitely, even after it's safe, I think just we had to sort of, like, the world had to open its eyes on hygiene and the way that we interact with each other. And so forever more, I think I'll probably won't be shaking hands as easily, giving hugs as easily. I will wear a mask whenever I feel sick. And so it's like, this is real. This is really affecting all of us as humans. And it's not going to be the last pandemic. There will be another one. Like, this is not, it's not like, oh, we get through this and we're good for the next, however many hundreds of years. Like, no, this will happen again. So I just cannot implore people enough to really think about the 220,000 people that have died just in this country, and however many people have passed in the world. Like, this is no joke. So
Yeah, I'm gonna actually take this question to Kyla first, and then the rest of you can add to it. I'm gonna actually put this on top of the question I asked. Question for Boots Miller: what costumes would you not wear in the future, or are there cosplays you have to change to prevent excess contact once we get to be back into the con? So, Kyla, I'm gonna hit you up with that question there.
I think there's definitely costumes I would still wear, but it's just a matter of adding a creative way to have a mask, which has been rather fun. Like, we recently did an event as Jack and Sally, and each of us had a face mask with the medical N95 mask underneath. And it was kind of fun to find, that way we did our makeup from here up, and then we could be comfortable on our breaks, eat and drink. And then it was, you didn't have to worry about messing up your makeup down here. It was just a mask removal. And so finding some creative ways to blend your makeup into your mask, or using the textiles from your costume and incorporate that into a mask somehow. I think, you can still do any character. It's just finding a creative and safe way to do it. Whether that character physically wears a mask in where, you see the character, or just, finding a way to bring it together. That's what I've been doing, just making all these character masks.
Gotcha.
It's been fun.
Kat, what are you going to be doing a little bit differently? And have you changed the material that you're going to be using to make cosplay in the future? How are you going to be differently interacting with people as well? Sorry, it's a big question, but break it down as much as you want.
I mean, I'm with Yaya on this. I'm not going anywhere until everybody says it's really a good idea.
Gotcha.
I'm with the scientists. And even then, I'm thinking that it's going to become about, like, if somebody wants a photo, I'm thinking it's going to be less about the costumes and more about the contact.
Okay.
It's going to be more about let's think of a fun way to pose that will be less about contact and more about character. What if I had a ball when I went to New York Comic Con in my Avatar: The Last Airbender cosplay. I dressed as Kama, the creepy bloodbender.
Cool.
And I bloodbend people. I bloodbended people all day long, consensually. And there was no contact whatsoever. I was 5 feet away from them all day long. And we had a wonderful time. They were
I'm
all
glad you said consensually. I was going to be worried.
fantastic. So, you know, there are creative ways to do this that could go with character. Oddly enough, when I'm River Song, I get people wanting to touch my hair a lot.
Yeah, I did too.
That's, you know, but that's little kids and drunk people.
Well,
Nowhere in between.
I don't get drunk, so I guess I'm the kid people.
I just don't know what to tell you. The little kids I will probably continue to let, and the drunks are going to have to get over it.
Okay. You are the professional in this. Is there a different type of fabric that you probably recommend people use that might be better to wear out there that might protect them better, or is there such a thing?
I'd say one's that's gonna wipe.
Cotton, 2-layered with a pocket filter. That's what all my masks are made out of. And so I have basically a 3-layer mask on. And but polyester is also like tightly woven polyester for the outer layer is also good. But neck gaiters I know are not, like bandanas and neck gaiters, they don't really do anything, and neither do those masks with a filter like on them. Those do not do anything. So I agree that you can, like, I have already made masks to go with my costumes, and I will probably make masks to go with every single costume when it's finally time to, you know, maybe go to a convention. And I think you can definitely have fun with it, and just, you know, using either natural materials or definitely tight woven materials and multi-layered. I judged a contest for Anime Expo, their virtual convention this summer, that was called the Masquerade contest. So everyone submitted a geeky mask that went with their costume. I had to submit a photo of themselves with the matching mask. And I just saw some very creative entries and people that really had fun with it. And there are also characters that canonically wear masks. So I think it's totally gonna be the thing. Like I fully expect people to start, you know, making more masks for costumes and wearing them at conventions, which I fully support, and I will also be doing. But I also agree that when people do want a photo with you, my experience is this: it's always about having that connection with someone. And, you know, like if somebody wants a selfie with me in the past, it's been like face-to-face selfie, you know, or it's like definitely like hugging pictures and such. So it's like they do want to feel close to you. And in the past, I've been happy to do that. But I also used to get sick a lot after conventions because I've hugged hundreds of people. I've put my face next to somebody, you know, 100 times in a day. And so those things have to change, and we just have to be aware of that, you know, that there are other ways to express your excitement to see each other. Right. So you know,
I think all 6 of us have experienced con crud. I think we all know it too well, and just like it's in between cold and death. I think that's what basically con crud is.
That's one of the great things.
I got pneumonia in both my lungs. Pneumonia in both lungs. That was the last time I did Dragon.
What were we saying, Melanie?
Well, that's one of the good things, at least right now, and as an intermediary before we start back into the con season, whenever that is, whatever it looks like, is that we are getting more and more virtual cons. That more conventions are looking at one another, seeing the best practices, and doing virtual cons. And now I'm noticing that they're trying to figure out ways of doing cosplay in virtual cons, where they'll have their own kind of masquerades or contests. And I know Yaya, you've been doing judging a few of them. I think I just saw one like last week or this week that you had done.
Yeah, Metaverse. did a really good contest. I'll say they put a lot of effort into it.
So with the virtual in the virtual scenario, what have you seen as a cosplayer? That's the pros and cons for doing a virtual one. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, hey, you don't have to try carrying all your stuff to get to the convention to do everything. But if you have something with expandable wings or has some height, you'd really kind of miss having that a convention hall than your living room. So
nothing will replace real conventions. I think conventions, we as cosplayers get a sense of interaction at conventions that we can never replicate. And I feel really bad for the newcomers, the cosplayers with smaller followings, because now that we only have social media and virtual events, everything becomes a broadcasting platform. So those of us with a lot of followers and a larger audience, we have more opportunities to interact with people and to continue our work. Whereas, the people that are just starting out or that didn't get in on social media and were, really into the in-person interactions at conventions, I think they really are at a hindrance. Like it's very difficult to connect with people online. Like at a convention, the advantage was that it didn't matter who you were. If you came into a hall with a cool costume, people were going to talk to you. People were going to ask for your picture. Didn't matter how many followers you had. And now it's like, you just don't have that, like you don't have the icebreaker moment across the hall where you like run up to each other and instantly know, oh, we like the same thing. Now it's which group are you on? What is the algorithm doing? What hashtags are you using? How can you reach the right people? And it really is frustrating. Like social media has really frustrated me personally this year. And I really worry for the mental health of all the people out there that don't have the support that I have. So I don't think that we can replicate the convention experience, but I do think that we need virtual conventions, and I appreciate the organizations that are putting effort into them. I mean, if you want to say, is there an advantage to having a virtual costume contest? And that is that someone can really choose how to showcase their costume and put all of their information in there. Whereas like in a person judging, sometimes you only have 2 minutes, you forget to tell us about something. During like the Metaverse costume contest, they submitted 5-minute videos, really like going through the entire process. And even if they forgot to talk about something, they just clip it on at the end, and like, oh yeah, wait, I forgot to talk about this thing. And so, it was very comprehensive. Like I felt good for the contestants that they could really approach and show us everything that they were proud of. But then like missing the social interactions, we can't get that back.
Yeah.
Speaking of something I forgot, we need a commercial break. When we return, we're going to wrap up our discussions with these three lovely ladies. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tune in, and wash your damn hands. Become part of the legend.
You have more options than ever before when choosing a film, a television or internet series, a book to curl up with, or even a radio show or podcast. Get to know the people who are creating for you. The Hangin' With Web Show, hosted by award-winning author and journalist G.W. Pomacher, is the internet's fastest-growing web talk show series. The Hangin' With Web Show features professional, yet casual, in-depth interviews with creative arts and entertainment pros. Meet the people behind a digital revolution in creating more quality content than ever before in the history of media. Find the Hangin' With Web Show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or simply go to www.hanginwithshow.com. That's www.hanginwithshow.com.
Meet the Doctor.
I'm the Doctor.
But not the one you were expecting.
All right, sexy. It's time to go home.
Doctor Who Velocity. Streaming now.
Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Koepp at CKOEPP.com today.
And if you want to join us at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS and become one of our family of sponsors, make sure that you're writing to myself or Sage at Hanging With Show. That's HANGIN with show.com, or Christian at the same address. We believe in our sponsors, and they believe in us. They support us, and without them and our audience, we could not do this show. We're at the last moments of our show, ladies, so I'm going to go to each one of you, starting with Kyla. Kyla, where can they find you? What social media, and where can they support you?
You can find us at Cosfx Studios, and that's Facebook, Instagram. Working on getting a TikTok eventually, but most of the time it's Instagram.
I want to see that. That's got to happen.
Yeah. If we're going to be home a lot longer, then that might be a thing. So yes, you can find us at Cosfx Studios. Send us a shout.
You got it there. Yeah. I think everybody knows where you can find it, but just in case, and tell us a little bit more about your book and where they can get your book as well.
Yes. I'm on yayahan.com and on Instagram and Twitter, Yaya Han, on Facebook, Yaya Cosplay. And my book is called Yaya Han's World of Cosplay. It is a fat book full of pictures, but also my life stories in there. And you can buy it on Amazon and chain bookstores and Barnes & Noble and, wherever books are sold. And you can also get a signed copy directly from me. So check it out.
Yes, definitely there. And Kat, you also, one of my favorite places to go when I try to go there, when I go around the Doctor Who Facebook pages, Whovian Nerds. You run that one, right? Please tell me you run that one.
No.
No, you don't? You just in there? Oh, okay. Well, tell us where everybody can find.
Feel free to give me the credit for it, but
well, I just did. Where can people find your cosplay? Where can people find your work?
You can, if you go and Google Miss Nerdstiles, you will find me. I am the only one. That's Styles with an I, not a Y. People sometimes get that wrong. It says so.
Gotcha there.
I've got an Instagram and a TikTok, and I gotta change the name of my YouTube channel. You'll just find me places at Miss Nerdstiles. It's the easiest thing.
Dave from the Rat Hole said, "No, not the end. Make it a 2-hour show."
Next time.
We're wanting more.
We're wanting more there. Ladies, I'm just going to wrap up this question. It's not really a cosplay question, but, it is kind of. And we'll take it one at a time. And we got a minute left for everybody. How are you celebrating Halloween this year? And we're going to start with Kat.
I got a kid. So this is all about doing things to make the child happy. So I think how like for Easter, we usually do an Easter egg hunt around the house. So we'll hide eggs. So this year we're doing we're gonna hide candy around the house. And
you're gonna hide drink. Okay. All right, that's very creative. I mean,
very cool.
You want to
dress up in and we'll watch movies or something.
Gotcha. Kyla, what are you and Rob doing for Halloween? Why do I even ask that question? You are Halloween.
We live it every day.
I know, exactly.
It's Halloween all around here. So since we're doing the Silver Moon Drive-In events, like I was saying, on Halloween night and the night before, you can catch us at the Silver Moon Drive-In. We're doing a safe photo op. And since they're doing It Chapter 1 and 2 on the big screen, you'll get to meet Pennywise, which we'll be doing. It's a stilt character that I will be doing, masked and all, on stilts. So it's a distant photo op, and that's going to be so much fun. And you can get a digital photo. It's contactless. You give us your email and we'll send it to you instantly. And then with the purchase of a photo at the drive-in, you also get a free pass to come to the drive-in for your next film. And that's for free for a whole vehicle of people. So, it's kid-friendly. It's a great time. It's very safe. Most of the time you stay at your cars come get a picture, get some popcorn. Everyone's pretty much wearing their masks over there, and especially indoors. So it's felt like a nice, safe job for us to do. So I'm excited to celebrate Halloween outside of the house and do a little character stuff. So you'll see our process building those costumes up to Halloween too. So follow us on our page and all that stuff.
Sweet. Yaya, how are you celebrating Halloween?
I wish I could go to the drive-in. I wish
totally
I could go there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so
Yes.
cool. No, I'll be home. I'm staying home, and I don't know. I might do a live stream. I put out a costume and do a reading from my book, or just whatever. But definitely being safe and not going out
For Halloween.
You should do that. I love it.
That'd be cool.
It will be the first Halloween I'm home in many years, because we're usually at a convention somewhere. So it's going to be kind of nice, actually.
Yay.
Hope to see you at Calgary and Edmonton Expos again soon. That's Dave from the rathole.ca, so check him out if you like board gaming, any kind of gaming that is not on the computer. Dave's got you covered there. Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us. Melanie, Neisha, Kyla, Yaya, and Kat. And don't forget, Kyla and I are going to be at the Halloween Horror Nights Virtual Part 2 right after our show with Phantasmagoria live here at 6 o'clock, and at 7:30, I'm going to skip right over to the Halloween Horror Nights Virtual, and I'm excited. I can't wait. Thank you, folks, all for joining us. Thank you for everything and our support of, Melanie, should we tell them? 39,000 subscribers. 39,000 Facebook subscribers to this.
Someone had said, you guys are going to get to 40 by Halloween. And
I know.
We were
I was
both
just
like, that's insane. We're only at like 37 and a half. This was beginning of October 1st. And we're at 39.
You got to remember, our goal was 35 by the end of the year. Yeah. That was our original goal. 40. So, here we go. This is in real time. There it is. 39,306 Facebook subscribers. Not bad.
Keep it up, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for subscribing and just supporting us. Support all these folks out here. Support Cosfx Studios, Yaya Han, and Kat when you see her out on the road. And please tell them the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS sent you. Thank you so much. Again, please take care of yourselves. Please stay strong. Please stay home. Wash your damn hands. And always become part of the legend. We'll catch you later. We're going to be doing the after show. These folks want to stay after. That's fine. But right now, we're going to end it here. For those folks listening to our audio version, thank you so much for joining us. Please stay safe and always become part of the legend. And for those of you just staying, welcome to the After podcast. We just wrapped up the audio version, so that's it for the audio. But if you have any questions, and Kat, Yaya, and Kyla, if you want to stay for a little bit, you're more than welcome to. We just stay for a little bit. But I want to show everybody my shirt, which I should have done during the show. I want to show everybody my shirt. This was specially done. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's great.
Dimension spouse. That's super.
Aw, that's excellent.
That's a crazy. That's like. Ooh.
Chrissy spoils me with weird crap, and I love it.
He does. Hey, I wanted to know if I could jump in and ask my own question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have one? I'm sorry.
No. I was like,
go ahead.
Question from the me perspective.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I actually was listening to everyone, and great discussion. One of the things, and again, it's crazy because it's three completely different perspective. But as we move forward into convention scene, my own brain, I've actually been creating like a do's and don'ts. I've been writing it for a little while, and I'm thinking that the entire convention scene has to change. There is no option, because as we move forward in the future, we're not going to want to take the risk at all, as Yaya said, as Kat said, and Kayla, so we've heard some of the things that you're going to adjust, but how do you see the convention scene changing yourselves? I mean, what do you see happening? What would you want to see? Like, everyone we know is going to have hand sanitizer. Everyone's going to be washing routinely. We're going to have Lysol wipes. What are the things that you know are going to change for you when you're at your booth? Not just the mask.
Oh, lots of things.
Yeah, that's right.
The DSLR booth that our photo op runs is now really great. So it has these pre-set up things where they pull up a QR code on their phone, and that's how they get their photos. So they don't have to touch anything, which is fabulous that they've got this update on the system now to accommodate for such things. So we're looking to update that system to implement that into next year. And just trying to do a forced perspective photo where it's similar to what the theme parks are doing right now. And it's like where they have the performers up on a stage, and then it's 6 feet out, and there's a marker that the guests stand at, and it's something we're just trying to implement now, just to get creative with having a photo taken, and where it's just the family staying, and then the characters are cheated back. But then when you look at the photo, it looks like an intimate photo, but when you look at the booth from the side, you can see how much of a distance there is. And people still just want to talk to you and, say hi, but especially the kids, all these kids coming out. So it's going to have to change a lot. And I'm curious with people who have bought a photo op or to meet, get a sign thing of a celebrity, because those queue lines can get pretty crazy. So I'm curious how that's going to adjust for those really big shows, or if they're going to do it at all. It's just we'll have to see kind of thing.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Social distancing. So is that, physical distancing? Is that something you're going to incorporate, Yaya?
Oh.
And you, Kyla, as well? I'm sure you have
Kyla.
to. What you do.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I don't think there will be big shows for a while. I mean, I actually don't think we'll ever go back to like the 100,000 person show again. I think the only way conventions can come back is if they cap entries, and they do advanced ticket sales, and they do like multiple shows a year. Like I think we'll have many smaller conventions, like 500 to 1,000 people, and maybe work up to like 5,000. But like even 20,000 people, I just can't imagine what that would look like and how you could keep everyone safe. And I don't know if I would want to be a part of a convention. Like it's just, I think of the future and it's just chaotic. Like there's just no good solutions, and it's gonna have to come gradually,
Now I have a question for all of you ladies, because our friend Jessica Womack came up with an idea a while back, and I think this is a great, or at least an initiative to an idea. It's a 3-colored tier system as far as a wristband that you would wear, but the wristband would signify 3 different things. If you had a green wristband, you don't care. People can come up and hug you. They can interact as if nothing had happened, as if we didn't have a pandemic. If you decide to wear a yellow wristband, that means you can approach, but you have to ask. So if you want a picture with me, you have to ask. You have to still stay 6 feet away, but it's kind of like caution. You can come up to me and approach me, but you cannot. You have to get my permission for anything before you go into my space. And then there is the red band, which is basically, I am social distancing. Stay away from me. It's just basically, I don't want to get sick. Just stay away. What would you think if that was implemented at conventions?
No green wristbands. I would not go to a convention where there was green. Like if people had the choice to be like, oh, you can come up. Like, no, that's irresponsible. So no. No, like maybe if it's like a distinguishing between someone who's like, you have to follow these procedures to approach me, and somebody who's like, don't approach me at all. But the green wristband, that's just irresponsible, that option.
Okay.
Because I get the wristbands more pre-COVID, funny enough. I wish it was more of those before COVID, just as an anxiety kind of social thing where it's like, I'm not the biggest huggy person. Please don't touch me. I don't want to be rude. Unless, I want to. So I kind of wish that was more of a thing before. But now I'm on the same boat as Yaya with the, I don't know. I know you're comfortable, and I respect that you feel comfortable. But stay the hell away from me and don't breathe my air.
You shouldn't feel comfortable. No one is supposed to feel comfortable.
What are you looking at? What are you pointing at me for?
You're the one that was so optimistic. Let's
I
say.
am
Coming back, and I'm like,
you
nope.
have to be optimistic.
I'm highly optimistic. I live in the world. I
Okay.
live this world, and there's absolute possibilities that things will be different in a year. But a year. Now, a year.
I'm
now.
optimistic. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to go running out there at the beach and just start grabbing people and just say, "Hey, like we're not cured." But I guess because I'm actually happy. I mean, it depends upon your perspective. I'm kind of happy that the theme parks are opening. I'm kind of happy that we can go to restaurants, and I don't mind the social practicing where we put on the masks. When we sit down and the food comes out, then you take off the masks. And luckily, fingers crossed, I haven't been sick, but I don't know of anybody else who's been sick either since we've gone to phase 3. Now, I'm not saying that we should drop our guard. I've got, for crying out loud.
I know people that have died from this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've known people too. There have been celebrities who've been in Doctor who have passed due to COVID. I don't want to die. I'm not. I don't want to get sick. I don't want anybody getting sick because of me. But I am trying to. Like you said, yeah. As long we're following the science, then I will follow it. I will put on a mask. I will keep my 6 feet. If I can't have a mask, I will stay 6 feet away for whatever reason. I will practice. I will say this. I went to. I won't say where in Florida because I don't want to get them in trouble. But I went to a place that was celebrating Halloween, and you'd think they had a cure for COVID where they were. And I literally did one thing and left real fast. Yeah. I was just like, I did one thing and just left. I'm like, I'm not going to do anything. I don't want to even take the chance. And we did an activity which involved people screaming at us. And I was like, no, I am done. That we're not going to do that. So
there's a car wash, and just a normal run of the mill, just a car wash. It's one of those automated ones where you kind of drive up and then, they tell you, make sure you put in neutral and you're good to go. Well, it's kind of enclosed. They're making it a haunted house.
Oh,
so
sweet.
that you're in your car, you're rolled up. There's no way you're going to open up your window, and they're making it in a haunted house. And it's insane that so many people are like, oh, this is perfect. I have my family in my car, and you people stay out there, and we're great.
It's pretty smart.
Drive to your house.
And no one's going to roll down their windows and try to do something stupid because they're going to, get hit in the head while.
But there's been a rise in drive-through haunted places.
Yes.
Which is incredible now, and I've seen a lot of them on TV. I actually participated in one. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I don't want to say the name. I don't want to get them in trouble, and I do support these folks that are trying to find other means for us to do stuff. The little guy who's trying to go, we're going to come up with something creative, but this one just went a little bit awry. But I do appreciate that people are using their heads and their noggins to come up, okay, stay in your car. And it's kind of cool where they tell you either to change your channel on your radio to a certain radio station, that they have sound effects going on while you're in the car. So not only are you getting it from the outside, but the car is giving you the sound on the inside, which is even making it even spookier. Mm-hmm. So I love, we can't be settled down too much, but I like the fact that we're looking for creative ways. Like, Yaya is making masks. What was it? The St. Augustine Distillery. One moment when they were making beer, and next second they were making hand sanitizer. And now we've got tons of hand sanitizer. I don't think we're going to run out anytime on the hand sanitizer. Made too much, and some of it just really smells bad too. It's just
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is. But
stay safe. Wash your hands.
Stay safe.
Stay out of my airspace.
Exactly.
Get away from me. Seriously, that's how I tell everybody I have a 74-year-old mom, and I love her a lot more than I love you.
Yep. Yeah.
Simple as that. Anyone's like, no, I want a hug. I'm like,
no.
My mom.
And that's okay. That's not being disrespectful, and people should be able to understand that kind of stuff. It's part of it.
Yep. Yeah. Everyone knows I have an autoimmune disorder, and it's an advanced disorder. And as Kat understands, just working in my industry is risk. But there's a weights and a balance. For me, I do it because it's what it's healthcare. But there's a difference. Choose correctly. Choose what's the safest way to do something for you. And for everyone around you, because it doesn't just affect you. It affects everyone around you.
My mom is 80. She lives down the street, and we see each other, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
She has her able-bodied partner that does the things for her. I have my able-bodied partner that, and so we have our little bubble, and we see each other, and that's it. And it's crazy making, but we have it better than many. So I'm not going to argue.
At least and thank goodness for all the virtual cons, as we've said.
Exactly.
Really, that is making a huge difference in that connectivity factor that we want. And like you guys, like all of you said, I think it's giving everyone an opportunity to try their hand at things that they would never have done before. Yeah. Like I finally put my hand to actually making cosplay, not just buying and putting the pieces together. Yeah. I was like, let me try something. Finally, let me just try. So I think it would be great as if the cosplay community really was able to maybe do more tutorials or more educational sessions to give that opportunity to fans who wouldn't be able to otherwise get that opportunity. So that's always an option as well.
One thing I've noticed with COVID is it's given a lot of people the gift of time, especially for cosplayers where they would kind of think, okay, well, you know what? I've got, I'm going to San Diego in July. I've got time to make this. And a fair amount of cosplayers, I know they're just the fun kind of passive kind, wait to the last damn minute to try making up a costume and then end up, oh Lord, it's like you really should have sewed that and not glued it together with a glue gun. But this gift of time is kind of a you know what? I'm going to try my hand at Warbler. I have a heat gun. I have time, and I'm going to try to do my armoring piece. People are kind of having fun. So to me, I think that's kind of a good little optimistic thing to look at and say people are trying new things, and they're given this gift to hone the little crafts that they never thought they could do, which is fine, which is great.
So all I'm going to say is this: for those cosplayers who've always been the last minute, who always said I can't get it done or I'm not going to make it in time, you've had months. No more excuses there. You've had some time to think about this and come up with. I got a question for you, Yaya. You said you've actually did judging for cosplay online. How do you? And I'm sure it's a challenge. So how do you normally judge cosplayers in a different? I know you can't see the full work. You can't get up close too much on the, the sewing patterns and stuff. So what kind of challenges do you face, and do you give advice to cosplayers who are going out there and competing on a virtual scale? Well, what advice would you give them?
Documentation. Just document everything, because the contest I judged, they had to make a PDF of, their process workbook, and they also had to do a 5-minute craftsmanship video and show us their costume head to toe. They had to show us the insides, and then they had to do a showcase video as well, a minute video of them just being the character. So I think it was a lot of work for them. That's a lot of work. That takes a whole day to plan, and then to edit the video, and then to submit it. And then for the organizer, they put everything in these spreadsheets and had to categorize everything and get all the videos and photos sorted. So it just was so much work, but it made our job as judges more comprehensive, because we really were able to give all the costumes a very, very thorough look over. And I think we were able to pick the people that most deserved awards and, needed to be recognized. But it is so much more work than doing it at a convention. So I don't know how many other events would be willing to do that. I think it's the commitment that's required. But for anybody wanting to compete, just document everything and submit more than what they need. Follow the guidelines and really submit whatever that you can think of. And it's tough. It's hard.
I know, because people can't interact or take a look or walk around the costume. You literally have to. Hopefully, they walk. They spin around and you get to see the full length. And that's wow. Mm-hmm. That's got to be a challenge there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kyla, we're gonna kick bottom next Tuesday after Phantasmagoria.
It's gonna be awesome.
So,
yeah,
folks,
I'm so glad that you guys can at least do that. So that's really good. I feel like it's
so nice.
For the kids, that would be so really nice.
That sounds fantastic.
They've been so sweet. Like, we had the Lakeland Ledger come out from the paper over there. That's the local paper. And they came out and took pictures of us at the Hocus Pocus thing. And I've never played Sarah Sanderson before, but it was fun. And the other two ladies were just peak professionals. Like, they've done the character loads of times, and just seeing the kids walk up and get to their spot, in front of us, and they're like, what am I gonna do? And then my boyfriend Rob was dressed as Billy Butcherson, and he had a face mask on with like the stitches, and he had a Binks puppet / like stuffed animal. So it was like the icebreaker for the kids to like, hey, look at the cat. Oh, and they just melt, and it was just so cute just to see their reaction, and they're like, okay, I'm ready for the picture. I'm not scared of you witches anymore. So it was really cute. So I'm excited to see what more stuff could happen with the drive-in, because that's a good outside venue that we can facilitate something safe like that. And it's very breezy out there. So we have fans blown, so we're upwind from guests, and so we're trying to facilitate that. But it's really great just with the kids, and they have the trick or treat, they can't trick or treat, so it's fun to see like them find other things to do, activities with their families. So it's a good time.
Very cool.
And kids, we're wrapping up the after broadcast party. For those of you just joining us, thank you for staying with us after the upcoming events for the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, according this Friday. Melanie, Paul McGann.
Yep. The eighth Doctor himself. It's going to be the second Doctor actor who's played a Doctor in the series that we get to interview at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So on Friday morning, if you happen to be doing anything, check out our channel, and while we interview Mr. Paul McGann himself.
I had the opportunity to see him at GalaxyCon, and he came up, and I actually did the virtual thing, and he showed up on the screen, and I literally told him into his face, I go, oh my God, I wanted Sylvester McCoy. Get this guy off my screen. He goes, well, if you want me to leave, I'll he almost shut it down.
Okay, bye.
I gave him a hard time, but he was kind enough to join us he's going to be joining us this Friday. A live interview at 7 a.m., so mark your calendars, and we should have the link already up on the Traveling TARDIS page. Also, again, Phantasmagoria live performance. Now, I've talked to John, and he said that there is going to be a special Doctor Who performance. He hasn't told me what that is. I'm hoping he's following through. So I hope John and the team at Phantasmagoria, I know they're going to blow me away, but if they're doing something special, a Doctor Who type one, I am very excited about that. And then right after that, join me, Rob, Kyla, Heather, and a bunch of other just Halloween Horror Night geeks. And I still felt so bad because Rob and the team over there from the last show, they actually worked at Halloween Horror Nights. I came in as a fan rep because Heather loved the idea of the Traveling TARDIS being part of the Halloween Horror Nights thing. But they were geeking out like, they're not called cast members. I am so sorry. What are they called, Kyla?
Oh, team members.
Team members.
That's what we call them.
They were geeking out team members. I'm sitting here going like, well, I worked for Kodak once over. I worked at Jurassic Park. Yeah, I worked at Universal Studios twice. I never worked for Universal Studios.
You were third party.
I was third party. Crazy. I was Kodak at Jurassic Park, and nobody knows this. I forgot, but I was one of those jerks at the end of the park where they would run up and ask you, hey, do you want to take a survey? I was one of those people.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, not that they're jerks, but I was just like, I know people don't have a good opinion of, yeah, can you spend 10 minutes with me now? But back then they used to have paper, and they used to have you had to drag them, and there was like a 10-minute ordeal. Today they just have sit at the computer, take as much time as you need. I'm just like, oh, are you kidding me? they made it that easier. I was like, great. So
Well, unfortunately, everyone, I have to scoot because we're not used to doing this on the Wednesday. So my schedule's kind of going right now.
Ladies, thank you so much, Kyla.
Wonderful having you all.
Thank you.
Kat, thank you so much. And everybody, thank you for joining us. You have a great night. Please stay safe out there.
Thank you, guys.
Wonderful meeting everyone.
Bye. Nice seeing you.
Okay, I'm sharing it right now, Kyla.
Cool.
Right now.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys.
I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye, guys.